Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3 of Geared to Ride's epic journey around southeast Queensland, Hags.
Yep, part 3, but day 4. Fantastic ride down through the Cooyar Ranges, and we stopped in at Garry McCoy's Café, and that was where it was really interesting.
We got to interview Garry McCoy. For those of you who don't know who Garry McCoy is, he is motorcycle racing royalty, Hags.
Definitely legendary on the GP circuit, and as I said, his upbringing in Speedway led him to how he actually rolled on the GP circuit.
Yeah, he actually drifts around corners, which earned him a few nicknames, which was what?
Yeah, the King of Slide.
And the Slide King, but he had a third nickname, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which they actually had a competition running where the kids were actually going to give him a nickname. What was that?
And it came up with Mr. Squiggle, which
so,
obviously you can work out why.
Yeah, squiggles all over the road, everywhere road. So let's cue the map, because there is another map.
Yeah.
So let's cue the map and let's get going, and we'll have a bit of a chat with Garry McCoy. Okay, so here we are at McCoy's Café in Cooyar. I have motorcycle royalty with me, Garry McCoy. Welcome to the show, Garry.
No worries, thank you.
Come here, it's an absolute pleasure.
Well, given that he actually works here, so he's already here, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's right there. But we are working around his schedule because he's a very, very busy man. And you just keep chowing down on your Cuban hot dog there. We'll just keep going.
Quality dog.
Yeah, it's a quality dog, yeah. It's very much a pleasure to have you here, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that you've done and some of the things we're doing now. Your motorcycling career, absolutely amazing. You started off on Speedway. So how old were you when you started on Speedway?
Oh, that's a good question. Should have ran through something.
Oh,
But it was late 80s, early 90s.
late 80s, early 90s, yeah. Now you have a very different riding style. You kind of, you're cornering quite often in terms of the oversteering. Would you attribute that riding style to your Speedway from your early years?
Yeah, definitely. I love Speedway, I still love it today. Great sport, it all happens right in front of you. Also, the race is over in a heartbeat. A friend of mine that I sort of grew up with, he was already racing over there, so he was going to put me up. And I had another friend that road raced, rode for 1 year, got a factory ride, and it looked so easy.
Oh, okay.
So all the money I'd saved up to go to England, I went out and bought a road bike and started road racing.
Oh, right, okay. And that was in roughly the early 90s you started road racing, about 94?
It was in November 91, it was my first ever race.
Okay,
A place called Oran Park, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. And you started on 125?
No, it was a 250 production bike.
No.
That was a way into road racing.
Okay. So, but your successes started on the 125s, didn't you, in 1995 and 96?
So the funny thing is, I started with 250 production class. I did Oran Park in November, and then in January, my second ever road race was the Winfield Cookie Challenge, the Beeston Creek, which Barry Sheen commentated. And I won both races. I didn't even know who was racing, but I won both races. He obviously spotted something and got me a race, got me a ride. Not long after that. So my fifth ever road race was at Grand Prix.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And then in 2000, on the YZR 500, you won 3 races during that year.
Red Bull Yamaha,
Yeah, awesome. So, out of all your successes, 'cause obviously, I think in 2004 you went to the Ducati. You won a gong on the Ducati that year as well. So, and a few podiums, of course. You know, a few podium finishes. Out of all of your successes, what would you say would be your most memorable moment?
I mean, I really have to say, you know, the winning in South Africa.
Yeah.
That was my first ever win in the 500cc class. Red Bull Yamaha put me on the 500cc Yamaha, which was my first time on vehicle 500cc two-stroke. In '98, I was on the V-twin 500. Got one brought out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't have the same power as the horse. So it was a good learning curve though. It was a good bike to learn on in that class first year. But yeah, like I said, then I didn't have a ride. Then Red Bull Yamaha picked me up halfway through the year. They didn't need the ride. And I actually got a podium in Valencia at the end of that year.
Yeah.
Start of 2000 to come out in the first race of the season and win it. You know, on a completely new track to everyone. That would have to be the highlight.
Excellent. That's awesome. And speaking of highlights, what brought you to Cooyar to open up a coffee shop?
Well, it's nearly 5 years ago now. Since I stepped into this journey, I enjoy the fact, you know, it's a riding destination for people to come to. There's a lot of bikes out here. Like you said, there's a lot of memorabilia that I'm happy to share with people.
Yeah, that's the thing to do. You get a kick out of customers coming in and just there riding, looking at all the stuff. And I came here, that first one probably 3 years ago, and I was amazed. Just this is my place, you know. Yeah. Now, Hags and I have just been on a trip of pretty much southeast Queensland, looking for the best riding roads and looking for the best twisties. And we're rating them as well. And so we've done such as Killarney down over the head. We've done Mount Tambourine, Mount Muta, Mount Udo, Mount Glorious, Mount Nee. We've also got Peachester Twisties, the one up Bullknot Road. I'm not sure if you know that one. What road would you rate the best in Queensland for fun around the twisties?
I have had Bullknot Road quite a bit. Yeah. One of my favourites, especially towards the end, heading back towards the coast. It's unbelievable.
We just mentioned that yesterday.
To go on your transitions, obviously, from your beginning stage motorbike riding, obviously GP riding, and now the Café. What's been the hardest challenge out of those three?
Say Café.
I was about to say that.
Probably not as fun as the other ones as well, I guess.
Nah, I mean, the other ones are hard as well.
Yes.
A lot of people think, you know, it's glamorous and you get to see the world and all that. Train and everything, travel and looking out at the sea. It's a hard option.
Yeah.
Living that life.
But we've got to say, everything we've done here, we always make a point of stopping here, like, we're connoisseurs of coffee, I believe, with our line of work.
I think coffee also connoisseurs of food after this trip.
Yeah, exactly. The coffee here is absolutely sensational. The food. Actually, I had to finish this. I didn't care what you guys have got. Let's try the Cuban dog and stuff like that. But we did talk when we got here. Ross, you were saying you're a big advocate for safety here.
No, there's, I mean, safety. You can have all the safety gear, still hurt. So, yeah, very important.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think I'd rather sweat than bleed. Garry, mate, thank you so much for talking with us here on Geared to Ride. We very much appreciate it. You are actually our first interview on Geared to Ride, and you know, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for talking to us, and we'll be back again and again.
Yeah.
And all the best on the adventures with Geared to Ride.
Thank you very much.
I think it's a great thing. You know, it's good to put stuff out there for people to see and pick up ideas anywhere. Listen to people.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and we'll keep moving on.
All right, thank you. Thanks, guys.
So here we are, Hags. We're at the end of our epic trip around southeast Queensland.
Day 4.
Day 4, and what better place to end than
Out the front of McCoy's Café here in Cooyar.
Yeah.
Mate, it was great. Like I said, like I know a little bit about bikes, but obviously talking to someone like Garry McCoy, just his knowledge, but also just his candor and openly having a chat in relation to his motorcycle days.
Yeah.
Really interesting, but as he said, his greatest challenge obviously is running a business, so he can side with a lot of cafe owners, but great coffees here.
Yep. So we've made it to Cooyar after our epic trip. We've done. Okay, let's go through all the mountains that we've done. So we've done Mount Tambourine.
Oh, look at this. No, bring it down so
I'll bring it down here.
We can never stop this.
Yeah.
So
we can. So we've got.
When you get better service
lovely
like
beverages. Come over here and bring us our beverages.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that. All right. So we've, in our epic journey, we've decided to hit all the mountains around the area and all the twisties and rate them and what we think is the best. So let's start off with Tambourine.
Well, Tambourine, the road, as I said, like with the road closures there, crossing there, you had to crisscross it a bit.
Yeah. So that was coming up from Kingaroy. We hit a road closure halfway up, but the road leading up to it was just fantastic.
I think the road itself is really good.
Yeah.
It depends when you go, of course. So if you're going to go for a ride there, you'd want an early morning ride where you've got less traffic. And as I said, is very nice, but it probably, if you moves a lot of the traffic, I'd give it probably, me personally, 6 out of 10.
6, yeah. Coming down the other side, we've got a lot of traffic coming down towards the township of Tambourine. But yeah, I'd probably give that a 6, pretty much because of the traffic. You're going to hit a lot of traffic in Tambourine. Mount Cooyar.
Yeah, Mount Cooyar, of course, like it's in the middle of Brisbane, as said, so you've got to be mindful of where you are, but very nice road surface.
Yeah, it is.
And it is quite fun. If you're in Brisbane, it'd be perfect. Just a little run around through there.
Not as many twisties, it's not as challenging, but it's a nice ride. But we are talking about twisties, we are talking about the fun of riding, so I'm probably going to give that one a 6 myself.
6. Yeah, I was going to stay probably same as Tambourine, 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. Okay, that's all right. Now, the wild card out of this one, which I haven't ridden very often, or if at all, is Mount Nebo.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, Brisbane
Nebo
riders and all that would be well aware of Nebo.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a really good ride. It was a really enjoyable ride. Now, I think we were talking about it on the ride there. If you were sort of like just getting into riding and getting a good feel for motorbike riding, Nebo would be a good starting place.
Yep. So I'm rating Nebo at 7.5. Now, bearing in mind, we didn't really do Glorious on this trip because we've done it 1,000 times, and we've kind of made that a benchmark of 8. Because I think the going up Mount Glorious from the south side is a solid 8. It's a very fun ride. So I'm saying Nebo 7.5. Only because Nebo isn't quite as tight on the twisties, but it's a really fun ride.
That's 7.5.
Yep.
And then from there we went back down. We then cut across through Mount Mee.
Yeah. So remember, from Mount Glorious we went down to Sanford. So what do you reckon about those twisties on the way down to Sanford?
Yeah, they're good fun too. You're going downhill, so they're pretty good. I'd still put that as part of
Mount Glorious.
Part of Mount Glorious.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we want to crack through.
So Mount Mee.
Mate, it's fun too, but as I said, the road surface in areas is a little bit dodgy.
Yeah.
I'd probably only give it 7.
7? Okay.
A 7 on that one, just because the road surface. There are some good corners there, but it's hit and miss a little bit.
All right. So the winners out of southeast Queensland for the mountains, we're obviously looking at Glorious. It's always a good one. It's always everyone's favourite is an 8. But as I said, the surprise for me was Mount Nebo. I really enjoyed that ride. So for me, on this trip, Mount Nebo was actually the best for me.
Yeah.
And what do you reckon? What was the best for you?
Well, around Brisbane, Mount Nebo, but having said that, after never having ridden up through Peachess and across Baldknock Road, that there, I actually got that was right up there because it's fun. The road surface is spot on, but then when you get to the top after having that, you go, gee, that was fun, and then just have a look east, the panoramic view across to the coast, and then you just continue out towards Montville. Absolutely sensational, and it actually pushes it almost into the Mount Glorious. You don't have the same distances, of course, but it's right up there. I'd give it a 7.7 7.75.
7.75, okay.
7.75. Just
Okay, so ball dog for you, Nilo
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Okay, well, that's pretty good. And then from there we went through, Kingaroy, back down to here. We've got Cooyar.
Well, we forgot Kenilworth as we were heading up to. We went across through Maloney and then across to Kenilworth.
Kenilworth, yeah.
Maloney to Kenilworth. It's a fun little ride too. It's really good. There's not much traffic. It's good fun too.
A couple of twisty bits in there, but it was quite nice, and the outlook was beautiful as well. But as I said, coming back just down to Cooyar here, there's the last lot of twisties on our journey. Very, very fun ride. Didn't mind that at all. But we're talking about the mountains at the moment. We're talking about which is the best mountain, and for me, Mount Nebo has won a gong.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree. So our next thing is hopefully when we really knuckle it down, once the COVID restrictions are gone, our rating system is based on if everyone ever travelled it, the Putty Road. I'll give it a 10 because the asphalt down there and the corners are just spot on.
Yeah. So I think our next trip will have to be New South Wales, and we'll start rating some roads down there. But in the meantime, we're going to jump on our bikes and we're going to make our way back home to Warwick. Mate, it's been a pleasure, Hags. It's been a great ride.
Awesome. And I think between our meat intake and our alcohol intake,
alcohol and meat.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the banner of our shows. Alcohol and meat.
Yes, I think the vegans will burn us alive after our last couple of nights.
I think so. Well,
half kilo rump steaks and then half a butcher shop last night at Kingaroy RSL. Yeah.
Well, on that note, Hags, remember everyone, this is Rossi and Hags from Geared to Ride. Remember, stay shiny side up and ride your own ride.